Hello, everyone. I am Pete Crimson. Hello. I'm just doing a review. I went to King of the Deathmatches 2016 yesterday in New Albany, Indiana, behind the Pride Bar and Lounge. Hands down, best wrestling event I personally have ever been to. I've been to them all. I've been to live events for WWE, TNA. I went to WrestleMania. And I've even I went to WCW when I was really young. I've been to them all, okay, and my local promotion is OVW, which I very much enjoy, but it's not this. This was insane. This was my first deathmatch show. I got front row seating. It was insane. A lot of the guys I hadn't necessarily heard of, but I was very pleased to see how everybody did, and there were no real too bad injuries. There were a couple of things that made you wonder a little bit if somebody was hurt a little worse than they really were, but it's pretty crazy. As you can see right over there, yeah. Conor Claxton on top. My boy Rickey Shane Page. I have a Rickey Shane Page shirt on in all those pictures. And Matt Tremont. I got a picture with all of them. I wanted to get a picture with all of them. I was a little starstruck at first, so I kind of just went for my favorites. I wanted to get a picture with DJ Hyde as well, and pretty much everybody. I wanted to get a picture with everybody I didn't really get to. Devon Moore, too. There was the winner, John Wayne Murdoch. I didn't get one with him either. I wanted to get one with all of them. Those are the only three that I got pictures with. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. So basically, there were four-way matches. The first of which was Devon Moore, DJ Hyde, Reed Bentley, and Joseph Schwartz. All these matches were total elimination. And that did not disappoint at all. We had the first matchup didn't pull any punches. We had, of course, I'm sitting in the front row. We had headbutts that you could hear right in front of me. DJ Hyde brings one of them. I don't remember exactly who it was, but I just remember all you heard was clunk, and he just falls down. Oh, it was brutal. So for that one was crazy. Devon Moore actually jumped off of a U-Haul truck, and that was insane. Jumped right on top of DJ Hyde's head. DJ Hyde was out for about 10-15 minutes. Well, he's just kind of sitting outside the ring. He wasn't completely unconscious, but you could tell he was kind of trying to get his stuff back together. That one was Joseph Schwartz and Reed Bentley, who are IWA guys. I haven't seen a whole lot of IWA. I didn't realize that they were literally an hour away from where I'm at. So I'm definitely going to be seeing them more often. But they were pretty crazy. Joseph Schwartz, he came out to a song that I knew, actually, and so that was pretty cool. He came out with a lackey. I think his lackey kind of left, like halfway through the match. But they were called the Bomb Squad, I believe. But he won the Prince of the Death matches. It sounded like I'm not up to all my IWA knowledge. I just know their names and everything and who I saw. He surprised me. Considering he was somebody I'd never heard of. I hadn't heard of Reed Bentley either, but apparently he's a hometown guy. He's been there for a while. I think he's won the world title a few times too. But Joseph Schwartz is the one that probably impressed me the most in this match, just because I didn't really know who he was. That guy was crazy. The match type was it was the carpet strips. They had those tied to the ropes. They had fishhook ropes. They had the pits of glass. They had light tubes on the corners too, tied up on the ropes. Pit of mouse traps, thumbtacks, and fiberglass insulation, which I had never seen. That was pretty interesting. There were a couple pretty decent little bumps, a lot of light tubes. Sitting in the front row like that, there was no guardrail. So that was pretty concerning a couple of times. I just didn't want them to fall. The finals was pretty crazy with that because they just were swinging them back and forth. But yeah, so that match was pretty crazy. The winner, there was fire as well. There was a table that they put, or I think it was the pit, that they put fire on. They lit it on fire, and Joseph Schwartz got put through it. He was trying to put, I believe, Bentley through it, and Bentley put him through it with something off the top rope. I think it might have been a powerbomb. But it was pretty crazy. Devon Moore, as I said, jumped off the U-Haul truck right onto everybody. It was awesome. Walked away like it was nothing, too. He was like, whatever. He was used to it. But it was pretty crazy. So that match ended up, DJ Hyde ended up winning. I don't remember the exact order of elimination, but I believe that Schwartz was first, and then Devon Moore was second, and then Reed Bentley was third, if I was to assume. I believe that's what happened. That was crazy. So it got the show started very, very quickly. The second matchup was Matt Tremont, Jeff Cannonball, Brad Cash, and Bryant Woods. And that one was really cool, too. I had never heard of Brad Cash or Bryant Woods. Apparently, Bryant Woods is actually a decently sized deathmatch guy. I wanted to get a picture with him as well. He was really cool. I actually talked to him when I was over. Him and Rickey Shane Page were sitting right next to each other, and he was a pretty funny guy. Had these big old gauges in his ears. He was a really cool guy. I liked all of them. All of them were super. I mean, you wouldn't guess that guys that do this for a living are like the nicest guys in the world, but they're hands down the nicest wrestlers that I've ever met, and I've met a lot of them. I've met guys like Sabu. I've met Kevin Nash. I've met a couple of bigger names, but these guys, it's just they're just people, you know. And it was really cool to see that none of them really standoffish or anything. They're very social, you know, and they didn't have to be. And they were. Tremont was really cool. Like, I didn't really talk to him a whole lot. I don't know if he was the biggest one and I was kind of intimidated by him or what, but I didn't talk to him a whole lot. I bought merch from pretty much all of them. And if I didn't, I'm terribly sorry. I'm sure I'll see you again, especially if you're IWA local. I'll be there again. So, like, guys like Markus Crane and Bryant Woods and Reed Bentley, you guys were awesome. John Wayne Murdoch, too. I'll be back. You know, I'll come back and see your guys' shows, and I want to support you guys as well. I just I know those guys aren't going to be there all the time, so I figured I'd take that chance and grab what I could from their merch tables and take pictures with them and everything, because I'll be back for you guys, I promise. You guys sold me. But yeah, so that match was crazy, but the second match, Tremont, Cannonball, Cash, and Woods. All these guys surprised me. Woods was doing this crazy thing. I'd never seen it done. He was putting the light tubes on their heads, and then he would punch it with his hand. And the amazing thing is he had no tape. He had no gloves on. He was just punching right through it. And, like, somewhere throughout the match, he went to punch it, and you heard it was right in front of me, too. So he punched this light tube, and he just goes, "Oh, shit." And, like, there's blood on his hand, and he gets tape and tapes it up real quick. That was pretty crazy to see that close up to you, because literally they're right in front. There's no guardrail. They're right in front of me, and so that was pretty crazy. That was one of the bigger parts of that matchup. I don't remember the stipulation on that one. It doesn't say it here on the thing. I don't remember. But I know there were light tubes, because Brad Cash was pretty crazy. Because what happened between the two matches, they still had a bunch of thumbtacks and stuff on the thumbtacks, and I believe like bits of the light tubes. They didn't really clean up the ring in between those two matches, which I thought was strange, because they did that for all the other ones. So Brad Cash, when he came in, he just crawls right on it. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Obviously, a lot of the fans were like, "Oh, you're a tough guy," and I was like, "Whatever." I think that's pretty cool myself. You know, it's smart. Get yourself into it right away. So he did that, and he was pretty cool. He surprised me. I didn't really talk to him a whole lot, but he surprised me. Bryant Woods was insane, especially for the two guys that I never heard of. They were really good. In terms of big spots for that matchup, I don't really know. I know Cannonball took some pretty gnarly bumps on the other side and was bleeding pretty bad. He's a big dude. So he's like, he's a hardcore King Kong Bundy. He's like, I hear it all the time. And he was really cool. I talked to him for just like a minute. I wanted to get a picture with him. He is a massive guy. He's somebody that I have really high hopes for. I think he's really going to go far in terms of the deathmatch scene. I believe he was trained by CZW, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so he's really good. I really enjoy his work. Bryant Woods was awesome. Obviously, Tremont is the king. He was trying to go back to back to back. And Brad Cash, like I said, really surprised me. They were really good in that matchup. That one was, it didn't really slow anything down. There were light tubes, there was all kinds of mayhem. That's what I liked about the first few matches, because they were actually decently lengthed because of the fact that there were 4 of them in there and it was elimination. So I'm pretty sure that that Brad Cash was the first one eliminated, and then Cannonball, and then Bryant Woods and Tremont was the winner of that matchup. The third quarterfinal 4-way was Dale Patricks, who I'd never seen before, Josh Crane, Markus Crane, and Rickey Shane Page, who, of course, I was repping him. I had him on my shirt and everything. And that one was barbed wire board, pits of gusset plates, pits of alcohol match. Now, the alcohol pit was really interesting because it was rubbing alcohol, and they had it in this, like, kiddie pool. It was kind of like a pirate ship. It was red, had a little steering wheel on it, and they kind of put it down where, obviously, there'd already been glass on the ground, so it kind of started to deflate pretty quickly, but it was pretty interesting seeing that. Of course, Rickey Shane Page came out, and he was the guy who is my favorite. Him and Conor Claxton are my absolute favorites in terms of death matches. I love Tremont as well, though, obviously, but those guys, I don't know why. There's just something about them. They're my favorites. And so RSP just comes out, and you can just tell he's having a good old time. You know, he was really cool. I was wearing a shirt. When he walked in, before he was even wrestling, I saw him. He was like, "Hey, nice shirt." I'm like, "Yeah, nice to meet you." And I shook his hand, and he was just a real cool guy. Talked to him on Twitter a few times. He's a really good guy. And so basically, he came in and there's no delay on these matches. They just start swinging. And this match was insane, okay? All kinds of light tubes, all kinds of, like, I don't think they used the gussets a whole lot, but barbed wire boards were pretty, there was Markus Crane, and Dale Patricks. I don't know if there's real beef, but if there isn't, they played it up pretty well, because Dale Patricks just did not seem to like that guy a whole lot. Like, Markus Crane's like, "Hey, look, it's Josh Crane's balls," and I don't know, he just didn't seem very happy about that. And Josh Crane was really good. That guy was insane. But basically, there were a couple of big bumps in this match. I know Page had messed up his hand, or like got cut on his hand, and they threw him in the alcohol. Oh my god, he's like, "Oh, Ian, this sucks," and he's just, oh, it was awesome. He's just freaking out, and like he was jolly, you know. He just looked like he was out there having fun. He's interacting with the crowd a whole lot, and I think, the last match I believe had bar fights in it too, you know, where they sit down and they punch each other, and that was pretty cool. That was a Tremont thing. Tremont did that a few times during the show. But Patrick's, who was it? Oh yeah, this is the match. Get this, okay. They start just swinging light tubes. All 4 of them grab them at the very same time, okay? They all have it, and we're ready for a duel, okay? And swings, they all hit each other. One of them, I don't know if the ref misstepped or what happened exactly, but the ref gets hit, and he gets cut bad. Like, he got a cut, like, right here. And he immediately starts, like, having the shivers. That ref was awesome, by the way. I think his name was, like, John Gray or something like that. He was awesome. Like, he got hit, and oh my god. You can see everybody from the staff start to, like, holy shit, what just happened? And he's immediately shaking because he didn't expect to get hit. And I actually saw him come up to one of the wrestlers later and said, "You sorry?" And it's like, "You sorry? What are you sorry for? Shit happens." And, oh, it's crazy. He took that big hit, and that was just insane. I believe it was the last match, the one before this too, where there was a spot where I think it was Brad Cash, where they all swung at him. They all 3 had light tubes, and he goes, "Fuck you," because he ducks the one, he ducks the next one, he ducks the next one, and he's like, "Fuck all 3," and they all hit him at the same time. That it was just awesome, you know, seeing all that action. I didn't expect it to go that hard. I mean, it's King of the Deathmatches, but I didn't expect the first ones to go that hard. But so Dale Patrick's Josh Crane. Josh Crane got cut pretty good up in his head. Like he was bleeding pretty good. Markus Crane was really good. He really impressed me too. I hadn't really seen him. I don't know if those two are related or what, but that was pretty cool. I didn't notice the Marcus's last name until after the show, but he was pretty cool. He was getting the crowd into it, and he was obviously talking shit to Dale. And Dale, man, that kid's gonna be somebody in the deathmatch scene. He was crazy. Like, I had never seen him before. I think he's relatively new to the actual deathmatches. Don't quote me on that. I don't know, but that guy was crazy. So obviously, I know that the elimination for this one was, I believe Markus Crane was first, and then second, unfortunately for me, was Rickey Shane Page, and I was like, boo. I was very upset for that. I wanted to see him go a little farther, but that's okay. You know, he went down, and he's already won one tournament for the year. He's not going anywhere. And so he went down second, and I believe Dale Patrick and Josh Crane are buddies, and so Dale Patrick ends up beating Crane, because Crane gets him down there, and he pulls the, I believe this was the one, somebody made a lawn chair out of barbed wire. That was pretty crazy, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but they suplexed him and sat him right down in the chair, and it had no give. I believe it was Dale Patrick's got put through it by Josh Crane. And so Crane brings the pit. The pits were outside the ring. He brought the pit of alcohol, which is leaking and everything. It was hilarious. He brings that in the ring, and so he's beating up Dale, and Dale somehow reverses it and lands this big suplex to Crane, and who's all bloody and he's got cuts everywhere, right into the alcohol. And poor Josh Crane gets pinned while he's sitting in the alcohol, so that had to burn just that much worse. I can't even imagine what that feels like. That's like, you get it in a little cut and you're like, holy crap, but I can't even imagine that. That's insane. Those guys are true warriors, every one of them. And then, for the final quarterfinal, we had the Duke of Hardcore, John Wayne Murdoch, who I hadn't really seen a whole lot of. Like, the only thing that I'd seen of John Wayne Murdoch is there's a clip on YouTube where he gets cut really bad by this light tube, and I didn't even recognize him. I didn't know it was the same guy. And, of course, the wrench, Conor Claxton, who I was very excited to see, versus Deadly Dale. I don't exactly remember who that one was. I remember the old-timer Jeff King, because he was wearing kind of like the old-school singlet with the one arm, and I thought that was just hilarious. I thought that was great with the old-timer gimmick. He was like, huh, huh, and he spoke very loudly, like very much old-school wrestling, which I thought I just got a kick out of it. And so, that match was pretty crazy, too. Now, I don't know if the pic has surfaced just yet, but Conor Claxton got a pretty decent cut over his knee. And I'll actually upload that full picture real quick, because I have a picture of him where he had just wrapped it. He sat down literally right next to me and goes, man, somebody take a picture of that. And so the guy next to me ends up taking a picture of it. But that was pretty crazy. Like, where is it? Where's that full picture with Conor? Yeah, okay. I gotta rotate it and whatnot. But see, if you look right down here, right next to my mouth, that you can see all the blood coming down. I don't know what happened exactly. I believe it was a light tube or something, but he got cut pretty bad, and it was a decent little chunk taken out there, and literally he sits down, somebody take a picture of that, and I didn't have my phone on me, or I would have, but it was pretty crazy. Like, oh, I don't know how to put that down there now. I'll just put that way back there. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Probably the craziest part of the match was he got that big old cut. But like I said, Jeff King impressed me a lot. I don't remember who Deadly Dale is. All the people, I do not remember exactly who he was. But Jeff King was taking some crazy bumps all over the place. He took all kinds of light tubes to the head. John Wayne Murdoch went hard all night. Like, I didn't know exactly who he was. I could tell he was one of the local guys. I didn't know. I had a feeling right away that they were going to have him potentially go to the finals. And he did. And it was crazy. That guy, I'm pretty sure he got hurt in the first matchup. Or I heard him talking about, because I heard him talking in between, and he was talking about, I heard something right here. I think now he was actually talking about that incident that's on YouTube where his shoulder got messed up and he got that big old cut. Oh, if you haven't seen that, look that up. That's pretty gnarly. But he got a pretty bad cut, and I think that's what he was talking about at the intermission. Now I think about it, but he went hard all night. He took all kinds of bumps. That guy is light tube crazy. I'll explain that later. But he ends up winning that one over Conor Claxton, who I would have really liked to see Conor go on, obviously, but given that he lost to the eventual winner, oh well. You know, it was a good showing. His knee was messed up. That was crazy. I thought for sure he was going to go to the hospital right away, but he didn't. He didn't. I got a picture with him. That was right after, too. They took an intermission right after that match, and I walked over there, and he was just still a great guy. I remember he was yelling at somebody because somebody gave everybody else muffins, and they were the Muffin Club, I guess. I think they even had a shirt that said Muffin Club on it. And they gave everybody else muffins, and Conor's like, hey, where's my muffin? And he, like, throws him a couple muffins. Like, yeah, I feel better now. He was just a hilarious guy. I really liked all the guys. All of them that I talked to. And if I didn't talk to you, as I said, I'm very sorry, but I will. Believe me, I'll be back. But that was insane. I was very pleased to see all those guys were all that nice. But yeah, so John Wayne Murdoch goes on to the second round. And this next one, the first semifinal was Matt Tremont and Dale Patrick's. And what they called this was a World Series of Glass match. They had a bunch of light tube cabins. Now they aren't like quite light tube cabins like you think when you think TOD like 2. So they weren't like that. There weren't that many of them, but they were like squares. So what was cool about that was to win you had to put your opponent through 4 of them. Now Dale Patrick's comes out and just starts going nuts and puts Tremont through 3 of them within like maybe the first 5-10 minutes. And so Tremont's down 3-0. And honestly, I thought Tremont might lose that match. And he ends up coming back. Like, he got put through him within probably the first 10 minutes, but through like a couple every couple of minutes. When he started doing it, he just throws him down 3 in a row. Patrick's goes through 3 in a row. Like, his white shorts were not white at the end of the night because he took some crazy bumps. Wow, my nose looks really stummer. Yeah, we sat outside, so it was really sunny, and none of the places around there sold sunscreen. Yeah, but that was pretty crazy. He puts him through 4 of them right there in a row. These matches, the second round matches, were obviously a little slower because I think the guys were saving up for the finals, which is understandable. So really, those were the big spots. Nothing too much like right in front of me, but that was pretty cool. Regardless, Tremont and them. That Dale Patrick's kid, that was like I saw Rickey Shane Page post. That was his coming out for tonight in terms of death matches, and I hope that he stays because he was really good. He has the look. He looks like he's an intimidating looking guy, and that was a really good match. So the next one, I believe the first round match with Matt Tremont, and that was that was 100 light tubes. Okay, that's what that was. Now I look at it, it said it right there. I didn't even see it. But second round matchup, DJ Hyde, John Wayne Murdoch. Obviously, everybody's all pissed that DJ Hyde is there. They think that he's the enemy because he's CZW. It was hilarious. He was the true heel of the night. Everybody's booing him. Fuck you, DJ. And it was great. Personally, I like DJ. I think he's underrated. You know, I think that he gets a lot of hate for being the boss or whatever, but he's a really cool guy. I actually talked to him. He's a really cool guy. Gave me a little talk to him about CZW Studios and everything. I bought merch from him too. I bought merch from him, Rickey, and Conor, and Tremont. I bought a little red hat from Tremont. It's right here, actually. One of the old school CZW hats, I believe. I think it was his, honestly. So that's pretty cool. So that match, the match between DJ Hyde and John Wayne Murdoch, one of the highlights of that match, somebody brought a baby, okay? I don't mean a literal, like, child. I mean, they brought a baby doll, and they put it on this, thing, and made, like, a makeshift bat out of it. And DJ Hyde gets John Wayne Murdoch and just goes, and just hits him, like, 4 times with it. Oh, it was great. It was, I thought it was hilarious. But, so that was great. That one was pretty cool. Like, a couple of the homemade weapons that I can think of right offhand, there were a lot of light tube ones. You know, there were lots of bundles of light tubes, and there was a crutch wrapped in barbed wire, I believe. One of the cool ones was there was a, I don't know what it was. I think it was a crutch, like, handle that had been, like, taken off, and duct taped to the top of it was an old, one of those big old action figures of Jimmy Snuka, which was pretty cool. I don't think it actually got used. I know I saw it, like, multiple times throughout the night, but nobody wanted to use it. I was like, okay. But no, it was just one of those big action figures, too, that's, like, hard plastic, so I can't imagine that would have felt very good. But no, that was there, and, one of the cooler ones was there was a bat, like a little plastic red bat. It had razors, like, you know, those dollar big razors, tied to it. Like, so it wasn't like barbed wire, it wasn't like thumbtacks. There were all kinds of thumbtack bats and stuff that were there, but that one was crazy. That's right, in the Claxton match, there was, I don't even know what it was. It was this really long, like, it was kind of, like, it seemed like it kind of had some give to it, but man, he smacked one of them. I don't remember exactly who. He smacked probably Deadly Dale, whoever that was. He just cracked him, and like you saw the thumbtacks like stranded across his back. Conor goes, "Ooh, that was a good one!" right afterwards, which I thought was hilarious. But back to the match. John Wayne Murdoch, they did a lot of out in the crowd stuff. They were right in front of us. They sat right down next to me. DJ just about fell on me a couple of times, which I thought was really funny. He literally, like, they sat right down next to me. I thought that was cool because somehow there were 2 spots. Somebody paid for 2 front row tickets and then didn't show up. So right next to me were 2 open spots. So I got a couple of people sitting down there, and that was pretty cool. DJ Hyde and them sat right there and sat each other down, and oh, it was hilarious. Like, I think he hit DJ, and that's why he ended up sitting, because he ended up, like, leaning off like that onto me, which I thought was pretty funny. Like, he didn't get me. I was kind of like, ooh, blood, whatever. You know, I was kind of, like, going like that just a little bit, because who wants blood on their shirt, you know? Somebody else's, regardless. I got blood on my arm or something from someone. I don't know where that came from, but it got on me. But that was pretty cool. John Wayne Murdoch wins that. And at that point, I had a pretty strong feeling that he was going to win. You could tell they were kind of running short on time at this point, because the original thought for the main event was going to be no ropes. With the ropes were going to be replaced with barbed wire. Ian said there's no time for that, you know, because it started a little bit late. It started about an hour and a half late, and I'm sure at 2:30 that they would have had time to actually do it. But that match still took a little while to set up. It was a House of Horrors match. They lined the entirety of the ring, the rope to rope. They lined it with light tubes, like literally lined. Like you couldn't. There was a little spot where they could slide through, and that was it. And that was on the other side. That was pretty crazy. They had doors. They had a big wooden door. They had another one with glass, and I don't know if the one with glass on it actually got used. But that one was crazy. During that's when I went over and got all these pictures taken, basically, because they had a little bit of time to set that up. It took them a while. So I went and got all these pictures taken, bought all this merch, and So we come back, and they started out with a bar fight. Okay, they're both sitting down on stools, and I believe IWA actually posted it on their Facebook page. But, you know, boom, boom, they're trading shots, and eventually I don't know if they headbutt each other, but they headbutt each other, and they both fall over at the same time. Perfect. It was awesome. This match was light tube crazy. And when I say that, I mean it was light tube crazy. Because, and Tremont, I think, uses him a little bit more than this Murdoch guy, John Wayne Murdoch. Yeah. I really liked his work. The only thing that I had to say, he was a little reckless with him. Because where Tremont was hitting him, and he knew how far he had to the other side, to where he's not going to break light tubes on the other side that are lined up against the ropes, Murdoch was like swinging them. And what would happen was it would hit Matt's head, the end of it would hit another light tube, and a couple of times, more than once, mind you, more than once, light tubes, like half light tubes, just went flying off into the crowd. And luckily none towards my side, but that was insane. That was just crazy. They spent a lot of time, a lot of light tube spots in this matchup. Like, he had him in the corner, and he just, one after another. He had, I believe he had him sitting up on the post, and just 1, 2, 3. And what was crazy was he was so excited. He's just hitting them one after another. They're all flying out of these people behind that post. And, oh my God, I believe the lady actually got up, but it was crazy. One after another after another. And I was just like, holy shit. I was very glad, because I was kind of sitting on the corner. I was glad they didn't do that in my corner. But no, they came off, and they came outside the ring. They came right out in front of me. I had actually moved back for this one, because there were so many light tubes I didn't want to get hit by one, because with that many, I mean, then they just go everywhere. I didn't want to get hit by one. It wasn't a big deal, except for this guy kept standing up in front of me, but it's whatever. I'm decently tall. I just felt bad for my girlfriend, because she's kind of short. But no, that one, the finals was crazy. They came outside, and they were beating each other up and all kinds of stuff. And I believe right after that light tube spot in the corner, Tremont hits him, you know, gets this big wooden door, and it was solid too. It was solid, and he sets it up, and he just power bombs Murdoch through it. It was insane. Or I think he might have even Death Valley drivered him. I don't exactly remember. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like there's so much happens, you don't exactly remember every spot. But I remember him going through that because you could hear it, and you're like, wow, that was solid. You know, there were all kinds of holy shit chants, and it was pretty cool. So basically, at the end of that one, Murdoch was down. Tremont had, I believe, done something off the top rope. Powerbombed him off the top rope, or DVD'd him off the top rope. And so at the very end, he goes up for the splash. He goes up for just a splash. And Tremont dives off. Murdoch catches him. And I don't know what he calls this move necessarily, but it looks kind of like the S-lock. Kind of, sort of. And he finished all 4 of his matches like that. He submitted them, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'd never seen like a deathmatch guy have a submission, which like a submission finisher, which I thought was kind of interesting. These guys will take light tube bumps, but they'll tap out to your pain hold. You know, I'm just nitpicky. I thought it was kind of funny, but no, he counters it right into it. I couldn't see a whole lot of it because there were still a bunch of light tubes in my way, and everybody's standing at this point. But he dove, he fell right into it, and he countered into the thing, and he tapped. And your winner of the 2016 King of the Deathmatches tournament in IWA Mid-South is John Wayne Murdoch. And congratulations to him. All night, all you could hear was, Duke becomes king, because he's the Duke of the Deathmatches. And it was just crazy. It was good to see hometown boy. You know, a lot of people were kind of upset that so many CZW guys came, and I'm like, why? I'm like, they're so good. Like, just be happy. Like, I don't know. I would have liked to see Rickey Shane Page go a little bit farther, because I actually asked him, I'm like, hey, have you ever been in IWA before? And he's like, I was there for a tryout match years ago, back in like 2008. And it's like, man, what a missed opportunity, because look at how successful he's been over in CZW. I'd love to see him back. I'd love to see all those guys back. I'm going to be going to their shows. Apparently they do them right outside there in Clarksville, which is maybe 10 minutes from New Albany, which is where this was. But that was insane, man. Greatest wrestling show I've been to, hands down. I probably spent more money there than I ever have. I'll show you guys some of my merch. Oh, I'm wearing one of them, the shirt that I got from DJ Hyde, right here. Try and figure this out here. Wrestling Fears CZW. I love that shirt. I believe he actually walked out with that shirt on for the first match. I already showed you the hat, but I'll show it to you again. CZW. Got that from Matt Tremont. Obviously, I already had one Rickey Shane Page shirt, as you can see in all the pictures on the right. But he actually came out in this one. So I was like, man, I'm going to get that one. That one looks pretty cool. And I did. They had it in my size. And Conor Claxton was the one where I almost didn't get a shirt because they almost didn't have my size. I actually had to go one size up and get a large, but I'm pleased with it because it was really cool. It's not quite as like they have that one. The one with the razor blade was really cool for Nation of Intoxication. That one was really cool. I wanted that one. They also had the other one with it's just a bunch of different stuff. And it said Nation of Intoxication on it. This one they didn't even have on the table. So I was very glad that I got that one. Nation of Intoxication. Drink Party Deathmatch. It's awesome. The coolest part of this one, though, is I love the back of it. One Nation Under the Influence. I thought that was fucking amazing. Like I said, I wish I would have gotten to talk to Devon more a little bit more. I didn't really. He was around. I just didn't really get to talk to him. But he was really cool. They were all really cool. I talked to all of them. You know, Bryant Woods, like I said, he was really cool. Jeff Cannonball is awesome. They're all really approachable. You know, they know. Like, they know you respect what they go through, else you wouldn't be there. And I do. I absolutely respect all these guys. But so overall, I would say probably the most exciting match of the night was probably the first one. The very first qualifying matchup, you know, Devon Moore jumping off that truck, oh, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the headbutts and stuff, and maybe that was just the first matchup. The finals was pretty good, but, like, all four of I almost liked the qualifiers more. I thought that they were just absolutely badass, all the action you can stand, mayhem personified. It was awesome. I could not have been happier, especially for everything, you know. I drove an hour up there because I actually live in Kentucky, and it was awesome. So, highly recommend it. I'm sure it's going to come out on MP4 and maybe DVD from Smart Mark, I'm sure. I know I'm going to be getting it because I'm right there. I already saw them post something, and you can see me right there in the background. I'm sure you see me multiple times. They come out right in front of me. So, highly recommend it, especially if you're into deathmatch wrestling. It was awesome. Hands down, it was amazing. It was just as good as TOD, I would say. You know, they didn't pull any punches. They used all the weapons they could stand. It was awesome. There was so much stuff I can't even remember all of it. So that's my review of King of the Deathmatches 2016. Absolutely gonna go back. It was amazing. I'm gonna go to some more IWA shows, considering they're an hour away. But I hope you guys like this little review. I know it's not insanely specific because I wasn't exactly sitting there with a notepad. But as somebody that was a first-time deathmatch guy, that's my first deathmatch show I've ever been to. Watched it for a long time. I've seen it since, oh man, I don't even know. Long time. I've watched back all the way back when Nick Mondo got hit with the weed whacker, and he took the bump off the roof. You know, I've seen all that. That was amazing, and this match was no worse than anything I've ever seen. It was awesome. Being there live was just that much better, but I would watch it over again because I would watch it over and over again because it was just insane. All the insanity, the celebration of violence, you just gotta love it. And so I hope you guys like this review. Probably going to do this for shows that I go to see locally, so you'll probably see some from me from OVW and maybe I almost went to an NXT show a few years ago or a few months ago, but I ended up going. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was awesome. John Wayne Murdoch, congratulations, and everybody else. And you probably saw me there. Sorry if I didn't get to support you. Reach out to me on here, or you can get me on Twitter. I'm Pete Crimson on there as well. So go ahead, add me on there, and talk to me, and I'll gladly support you, man. I'll be around. I only had so much money, and I spent considerable amount on T-shirts and everything, more than I was anticipating. So, but it was really cool. I got some DVDs too. I totally left those in the other room though. I got like IWA Mid-South, King of the Deathmatch 2005. I got Double Death. I don't know what year it was. I think it might have been 2005 as well. And then I got Christmas Clash, which has like Chris Hero and Ricochet on it and stuff. But that was really cool. This was hands down best wrestling event I've ever been to. I loved it. I would highly recommend it to anybody into death matches. Don't be scared. Like I said, I backed up. Probably next time I probably won't back up. I'll be used to it by then. But yeah, it was amazing. Great show. No complaints here. It was all you could ever ask for. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.